Haridata was a poor Brahmin. He lived in a small village and owned a small piece of land. He worked hard on his farm. From dawn till dusk he toiled under the sun. He grew vegetables and grains. He hoped for a good harvest. Haridata yearned for a life of comfort. He wanted to provide for his family. He wished to be free from debt. Despite his hard work, he remained poor. Years passed, but his situation did not improve. The harvests were meager, and his debts continued to grow. He felt despair gripping his heart.
One afternoon, while working in the fields, he stumbled upon a sight that filled him with awe. There, coiled beneath a withered banyan tree, was a magnificent cobra. Its scales shimmered like jewels in the sunlight. It was a spectacle both terrifying and mesmerizing. Fear clutched at Haridata's heart. He knew the dangers posed by venomous snakes. He gathered his courage and decided to flee. As he turned to leave, a strange calmness washed over him. An inner voice urged him to stay.
Haridata paused, his gaze drawn back to the serpent. It remained coiled, its eyes fixed on him. He felt no fear, only a strange sense of peace. He realized that this was no ordinary cobra. With newfound courage, Haridata approached the serpent. He bowed low and addressed it with reverence.
"O majestic Nagaraja," he began, using a term of respect for the cobra. "I am but a humble Brahmin, struggling to make ends meet."
He poured out his heart to the serpent. He spoke of his poverty and his struggles. He expressed his desire for a better life. The cobra listened patiently, its unblinking gaze never leaving Haridata. When the Brahmin finished speaking, the cobra uncoiled slightly. It nodded its head as if in understanding. Then, to Haridata's astonishment, it spoke.
"Return to this spot tomorrow," the serpent hissed, "and bring with you a pot of milk and some sweets."
Haridata's heart leaped with a mix of fear and anticipation. Could this be his chance to escape poverty? He wasted no time. He rushed home and gathered the finest milk and the sweetest jaggery he could find. The next day, he returned to the banyan tree. The cobra was waiting. Haridata placed the offerings before the serpent and bowed low. The cobra accepted the gifts with a graceful nod.
"From this day forward," the serpent hissed, "your fortunes will change. Each day, you will find a gold coin in the pot of milk."
Haridata was overjoyed. He thanked the serpent profusely and promised to always honor it. True to the serpent's word, Haridata found a gold coin in the milk pot every single day. His poverty soon became a distant memory. He rebuilt his house, paid off his debts, and lived a life of comfort. He never forgot the cobra's generosity. Every day he offered milk and sweets to the serpent. Haridata had a son. As the boy grew older, he learned about the source of their newfound wealth. He listened to the tales of his father's pact with the cobra. Greed took root in his heart.
"Father, why do we wait for a single gold coin each day? The cobra must have a vast treasure. If we kill it, we can have it all at once."
"Are you mad? The cobra is our benefactor. We owe it our lives. We cannot repay its kindness with such treachery."
But the son refused to listen. He was blinded by greed. He began to plot ways to kill the cobra and claim its supposed treasure for himself. He dreamed of a life of unimaginable luxury, far beyond even his father's wildest dreams. One day, while his father was away, the son decided to carry out his wicked plan. He armed himself with a heavy stick and set out for the banyan tree. He found the cobra resting in its usual spot. It seemed oblivious to the danger lurking nearby. The son raised the stick high above his head and brought it crashing down with all his might. The cobra, startled by the sudden attack, reared up in defense. It sank its fangs deep into the son's arm. The venom coursed through his body and he collapsed to the ground, writhing in agony. Haridata returned home to find his son lying dead near the banyan tree. The sight of his son's lifeless body filled him with grief and remorse. He realized the folly of his son's greed. He had paid the ultimate price for his avarice. The cobra emerged from its hiding place. It approached Haridata, its eyes filled with sadness.
"Your son's greed has brought about his own destruction. He failed to understand the true value of contentment and gratitude. I warned you against this. Greed is a dangerous master. It blinds us to reason and leads only to suffering."
"You spoke the truth, Nagaraja. My son's greed has cost him his life."
Learn from this tragedy. True wealth lies not in material possessions, but in contentment, gratitude, and compassion. Cherish what you have and never forget the pain that greed can bring.
With these words, the cobra retreated into its hole. leaving Haradatta to contemplate the bitter consequences of unchecked desire.